The Four-Nation War for Dummies. So around 500 PDW, that's post-Divine War, there was an intercontinental war, close to a world war but a little smaller, that took place on the Asha. The nations included Zabaria, Zelzibar, Ishgamel, and the Sword Coast Coalition. Not really a nation, technically, but it still counts. So it all started in Faerun. This guy named Vecna does some impressive stuff and bro actually becomes a god. Now he became a real god, not a New World god, which were created by the higher gods to be less powerful. So obviously, some New World gods got a little jealous, namely Cain the god of death, Zarella the god of fire, Ursul the god of war, and Vizatl the god of greed. Why did the Old World gods even create the last two? Now war begins. Zarella, Cain, Ursul, and Vizatl start attacking places and trying to ascend just like Vecna. And the other New World gods are not happy, so they intervene and war breaks out. Not only is it half-gods, the sons and daughters of gods, but all of each god's followers were in it. And they are all mortal, so there was a lot of death. Now for world events. Cities back then were a lot more focused on religion and gods than in today's world, so what I mean is these nations were all in for their gods and everyone worshipped them. This brings us north of Zabaria to Gaspard. This nation was all in for Kinnear and was against the ascension of Zarella, Cain, Ursul, and Vizatl, making them a major target, as well as if Gaspard and all of their religious followers were destroyed, it would weaken Kinnear a lot. Gaspard was already on their own, and this war didn't leave them with any more allies than they started with, only more enemies. Some nations took war as an opportunity to gain from their own pursuits that had nothing to do with religion, creating even more chaos and turning some fronts into a free-for-all. From this, envoys and letters were sent to meet peacefully on the small island nation of Ishgamel. This was a small island in the middle of the Taylola Ocean with not the largest population. Ishgamel represented a place of neutrality where no sides had any stake throughout time. Thus, it was the perfect place, or so they thought. While everyone was getting ready to head over, Zarella, her half-god, and her followers decided it was a perfect time to strike a certain nation. Remember Gaspard? Remember why it's not on the map anymore? Thank Zarella for her surprise attack and massacre of the nation. This also led to the royal family of Reed to send their daughter Valania to the future where a certain band of misfits and their chrono wizard would find her and save her. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, they get absolutely wiped. This takes out a major player in the race, and the other nations were so busy heading to Ishgamel that only one person was notified of this. That was the emperor of the Ostoyan Empire, who unalived himself because of the war stress. Yikes. Now, fast forward, everyone shows up at Ishgamel. But hold up, where's Gaspard? Yeah, that thought really only lasted for a few seconds as Zarella had other plans. Once again, to surprise her enemies, she comes into a tangible-like form by possessing her half-god and wreaks havoc on the kings and queens present. In comes our hero, but who is this man about to seal Zarella? This is a man by the name of Veldrin. He heralds from an ancient city in Faerun called Netheril and was the possessor of the Earth Wish Ember. He leaps into action and uses his runic knowledge to successfully seal Zarella into the Asha itself. Hooray! And then he uses his Wish Ember to sink the whole island just in case. All of the death during the war gained Cain the power and followers he strived for and decides he's not about to meet the same fate and calls off his assault.
It was all Zarella's idea.
This war actually benefited most of the New World gods as they gained influence and more followers, especially when some of the other more passive gods decided to not continue fighting for more power, becoming known as the Forgotten Gods and losing most of their followers and power. The other warring nations are either destroyed or retreat, and the victorious nations' kings and armies, or what's left of them, sail back to their nations and prepare for peace once again. Our hero Veldrin saves the day, saves the world, and continues to fight for peace. Until something changes in him. But that's a story for another time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Funny Dog D&D and hit that little bell. Ding, 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 ding! We'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, is it Sunday yet? Woo!